again!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams.
Hi, welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Today it's all about show of character and turning a new corner. South Africa are not chokers anymore. In fact, they've won a lot of matches right down to the last over in this T20 World Cup. Who is this new South African cricket side? How have they managed to shake off the chokers tag? And who've been behind this transition? Speaking of transitions, Afghanistan are jiving to the Caribbean tunes, and it's no wonder. Has DJ Bravo's inclusion in the coaching staff brought in a new layer to their growth as a cricketing nation? What's the reason behind Afghanistan's coming-of-age story? And what's cooking at the Ferrari camp? Visuals of a heated exchange between Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz have blown up the internet. Is this going to hamper Ferrari's fight this year? And is Leclerc ready for the Lewis Hamilton move in 2025? All of that coming your way. But first, a look at the headlines over in Sports 360. We'll start with football and Euros. Hungary's Barnabas Varga suffered a life-threatening injury during his side's 1-0 victory over Scotland. Varga was stretchered off after a collision with the Scottish goalkeeper in the 67th minute. The Hungary forward was taken to the hospital. He had broken several bones in his face. He's stable now, but will miss the rest of the tournament. The good news, Hungary is through to the next round. In Copa America, 15-time champions Uruguay beat Panama 3-1 in Group C match. Maximiliano Araujo opened the scoring for Uruguay in the 16th minute. Darwin Núñez, Matias Vina's goals sealed the game for Uruguay. Over in tennis, world number 1 Jannik Sinner has won the Hall Open. The Italian defeated Hubert Hurkacz 7-6, 7-6. This is Sinner's first grass court title. After winning it, the 22-year-old said he's more confident now to win Wimbledon. That starts next week. In athletics, Noah Lyles won the US 100-meter trials to secure his ticket to the Paris Olympics. He recorded a personal best of 9.83 seconds. The world champion had earlier missed out on the 100-meter qualification for the Tokyo Olympics. And rounding it up with news from women's cricket, India beat South Africa by 6 wickets in the third one-day international, winning the series 3-0. While chasing 215, India's Smriti Mandhana scored 90 of 83 balls to take India home, missing out on her third century in the series. The T20 World Cup has come alive again thanks to certain close finishes, some unbelievable stories of grit and teams overturning what we've seen them to be or historically do. Some nervy results in the Super 8s have made this one of the most exciting phases of the tournament. South Africa has qualified for the semi-finals after a last over finish against hosts West Indies, and in that process, they've taken them out. It was a nail-biting game, and this has been the highlight, in fact, of their campaign all these weeks. There is no other way to look at this. South Africa are miraculously becoming clutch players, a team learning to soak up all the pressure. And given South Africa's history, its very, very dubious history, their legacy, this change has been incredible to see. In the match against West Indies, they first restricted the hosts to 135. And just when it looked like the Proteas would see this off, West Indies came in strong. They got rid of Reza Hendricks and in-form Quinton de Kock rather quickly. Roston Chase, Andre Russell and Alzari Joseph had South Africa in a world of trouble. And that's when you had a young Marco Jansen holding his cool and shepherding the run chase with his cameo. That 6 to close out the win will be remembered for years to come. A 6 that exorcised the demons of the past. The chokers tag wilting away under the ghosts of the DLS. Tabriz Shamsi, while speaking after the match, joked about the loss against Australia way back in 1992 due to the very DLS that they triumphed over this time, and how this image of Proteas winning a close finish, reject, thanks to the rain, has erased that memory of that loss. But I will be amiss if I did not talk about Kagiso Rabada. This young pacer comes in with South Africa having lost another wicket in Keshav Maharaj. And just when the asking equation is 9 of 7, the pressure climbing, because that's exactly the kind of pressure South Africa has always known to wilt under, Rabada strikes a boundary of a dangerous and clinical Roston chase, a cover drive going down on his knee with such confidence and calmness. That image will again be one I'll never forget. And here's the thing, South Africa has shown a lot of nerves in this tournament in particular. While they came under a lot of flack for struggling to close out low totals against Netherlands and Sri Lanka, the close finishes against Nepal and Bangladesh showed character. And the last T20 victories against England and of course West Indies earlier today pretty much summing up the South Africa team's curve in this tournament. A team that can truly handle pressure now. The chokers, who've lost key moments in big events, losing the plot in knockouts, are now looking like a team that even their predecessors would not be able to recognize. So who've been responsible for this change in demeanor, this new South Africa that we're seeing? I have to start and put Aiden Markram at the top here. Any thought, any change in perception and vision, in even the way you go about your business comes from the top. If the leader has no conviction, chances are, nor will the team under him or her. Markram has set a kind of belief, a system and confidence, a kind of fearlessness that has permeated that dressing room, captaining his SA-T20 side and leading them to wins in the SA-T20 League. And of course, then the IPL too, where he's been a leader despite not captaining the Hyderabad franchise this year, has of course been phenomenal to see, and that's translated here to the national side. And youngsters like Marco Jansen and Tristan Stubbs, to name a couple, say they are learning from seniors like Markram, from seniors like Klaasen, who played that crucial over out where they scored 27 runs to in fact turn around things and get Marco Jansen to take it home. You see someone like Stubbs as this brave batter accelerating at will. He was not always this way. He became that player, proving to be pivotal in Proteas' success story. The unit is trying to put the bad memories when it comes to ICC events and South Africa behind them. Because in World Cups, they've always come into the tournament with a strong side, and yet getting past the semi-final stage has been a monumental challenge, successfully earning them that tag of chokers. Now, a team with star players, quality lineup, brilliant cricket until the knockouts. I can rattle them off for you, these moments. The 1992 World Cup, that infamous DLS match that robbed South Africa of a win. 1996, where they did not even make it to the semi-finals. 1999, that heartbreaking Lance Klusener, Alan Donald being stranded at the crease moment, losing out despite the tied game against Australia. The horrors of 2003 World Cup, which forced Sean Pollock to resign right after. The 2015 heartbreak of Morne Morkel and AB de Villiers against New Zealand, or the recent 2023 World Cup shock semi-final loss. The burden of the past has been a heavy cross to bear. The side showing great promise only to fold under the pressure of it all. Here in this tournament, they're not just taking the game deep, but are not failing in the final moments while doing so. They are winning it, no matter the opposition. And this is the change in mindset that they've developed. And yes, being a part of a tournament like the Indian Premier League helps when you are playing under seasoned captains who are navigating the most nervous and tense moments in a game. So much so that it has become second nature for many of these youngsters today. Youngsters who are fearless, alongside seniors shouldering the responsibility and giving them that freedom to express themselves. They are through to the semi-final, yes, and the real test is now. This moment can change everything that they've yearned to erase. It can make this tournament a defining one for them. This bunch has the onus, the dream, the opportunity and the pressure to eliminate all that baggage instead of getting eliminated once again. That is when they would have truly rewritten their script. Afghanistan, meanwhile, is rewriting history books, and they're doing it one game at a time. The team exacted their revenge over Australia for the loss that came at the ODI World Cup last year. The man who made all the difference was Glenn Maxwell, and he threatened to take it all away from them this time too. But Afghanistan managed to decimate that thought and that memory. Yes, this side has always created an upset or two, but maybe it's time to stop calling it that, because this team is turning around. They are a bunch of players who are coming together and learning to play like a champion side. A side that will keep fighting, one key addition to their squad has been that of Dwayne Bravo, the former West Indian fast bowler. He's been one of the most integral death bowler specialists in the West Indian outfit, particularly in this format. He's been brilliant in the leagues all around the world, and to have someone like him in the dressing room to share valuable insights and impart tips has been a game changer for Afghanistan. You could just tell by the way they were celebrating together after that win over Australia. Because this was a side that was known to be one that was spinners heavy, a team known for its spin unit. At this World Cup, in the Americas, their pacers have come to the party. Guess who's the leading wicket taker at the T20 World Cup so far? There are top four. I show you Arshdeep at number 4 for India. He's been particularly clinical so far. Alzari Joseph has stood up and delivered for the West Indies at number 3. Of course, he's delivered at the crucial stages in the tournament, but pity it hasn't been enough. Adam Zampa at number 2, the lone spinner in the top 4. And at number 1, Fazal Haq Farooqi. There's a reason he's up there at the top of the charts, because he's been a major contributor for Afghanistan in this tournament. He's one of the reasons Afghanistan sits high at the points table, with all the pressure now on Australia, who have to beat India now to qualify for the semi-final. The difference has been the mindset, from just backing their talent and skill set to making the key moments count, not panicking in the tense moments of the match. That's what Rashid Khan, their skipper, told them in the dressing room after that win against Australia, to believe that the talent is enough to overthrow the best, to strengthen the mind as much as you sharpen your skills. Afghanistan were clearly the better team on the day against Australia, but the process to get them there took time.
You know, over the years, the cricket has been growing from strength to strength. We saw that in the last 50 over World Cup in India, and you know, they continue to produce quality players. And they all have the gift, they all have the talents. So, but sometimes you lack self-doubt. So my role basically is to try and just keep empowering them, giving them that champion mentality mindset.
Key words he uses there: empower them. They're adopting a champion mindset, said by a champion himself who knows a thing or two about winning titles, winning trophies, especially in this format. He's been a match winner, a T20 specialist mentoring a side that has talents good enough to become big match players themselves. Win or lose, Afghanistan has experienced what it feels like to win and what it takes to rally around and give any team a fight, a run for their money. And that's enough. There were glorious, manic scenes all over Afghanistan as fans rejoiced this win. But it would not be fair if I did not mention one last thing as a parting thought for those watching this and many who are following Afghanistan's men's cricket team rise in world cricket. No one can rise and conquer the world without everyone standing together at the front, side by side. Sure, there's a men's cricket team out there winning laurels for their country. It also had a women's team not too long ago that has stopped existing thanks to the rigid Taliban regime. So one can only hope that maybe in all of this merriment, the other half of the country's population can also get to celebrate their heroes, be inspired by their own cricket team in the near future. Another Grand Prix this weekend, this one in Spain's Barcelona, another win for Red Bull with Max Verstappen scorching the tracks. But all the chatter coming out of the race this weekend has not been about the win. In fact, it was less about Verstappen's victory and more about the mess Ferrari finds itself in. Neither Carlos Sainz nor Charles Leclerc finished on the podium, and to top it all, the two drivers were involved in a verbal exchange right after the race.
Va, Carlos, bien, Carlos. Bien, Carlos, bien, Carlos. Ánimo, Carlos, ánimo.
So what was that about? Here's what happened. During the race, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc almost had a collision. Sainz passed Leclerc on the 4th lap in Barcelona, and yes, it was rather close for comfort. Leclerc claims the aggressive takeover by Sainz damaged his car. While it's common in Formula One for people to show aggressiveness to overtake, maybe not towards their own teammate now, isn't it? Sainz going past Leclerc and in that fashion clearly didn't impress the Monaco driver.
I damaged my front wing because of Carlos making the turn. It was clearly stated before the race that we had to save in this part of the race. It's a bit unnecessary, but I also understand that it's his home race and it's also an important moment of his career. So I guess he wanted to do something a bit spectacular. But I probably wasn't the right person to do that with.
Some harsh words there from Leclerc, calling his teammate a showman. But these statements, along with the animated chat, has stirred things up in the Ferrari camp. And if you thought the fire has caught on just at one end, wait, there's more. After that searing statement by Leclerc, Carlos Sainz didn't hold back either.
It's too many times he complains after the race about something. I was trying to try what I have to as a driver, what is required for me to do as a driver. He had to manage more. In the end, for him, it kind of paid off because he beat me at the end with a soft, medium, soft.
Leclerc calling Sainz a showman and Sainz almost calling Leclerc out for being a bit of a crybaby. He says all Leclerc is ever doing is complain. And these public statements were made, in fact, after that heated exchange when the two drivers after the race were heading back to their paddock. It is strange because they have had a cordial relationship in the 4 years that they've been together at Ferrari. Just a month ago, in fact, the duo was celebrating Leclerc's Monaco Grand Prix victory. Sainz himself came in third in that particular race, but these are those pictures here. He's celebrating the local boy Leclerc along with Ferrari. That's how their relationship has been, celebrating each other's triumphs, each other's moments. But now it's come down to this. The cold stares, the heated exchanges and the tension simmering between two teammates. Something that Ferrari wouldn't want on their hands at this point. Because Ferrari has been giving Red Bull a tough fight. Leclerc has finished on the podium in 5 races that included the Monaco Grand Prix win. And Sainz has shown a lot of hunger too. He's had a podium finish on 4 occasions, won the Austrian Grand Prix. And this discord comes at a time when they are trying their best to hamper Red Bull's charge. But I cannot help noticing the timing of all this. It comes when Sainz is about set to leave Ferrari in some months at the end of the season. But with the news of fighting in the camp, the larger question, how will this affect Ferrari this particular season? It'll clearly affect their partnership on the grid, but why is there a disagreement? Is Leclerc already moving past Sainz and looking forward to the Hamilton era in red? Because ever since Hamilton's announcement came in, Leclerc has grown warm towards the Brit. When Ferrari announced the signing, Leclerc himself said that there is a lot of respect between the two. And amid his growing respect for Hamilton, is Leclerc losing the friendship with Sainz? But here's the thing, what Leclerc experienced with Sainz today, Hamilton has already done that many a time in the past. In 2016, Hamilton was involved in a similar run-in with Nico Rosberg. In the Austrian Grand Prix, Hamilton overtook Rosberg in similar fashion to win the race, and during their 4-year spell together at Mercedes, the duo had the biggest of rivalries that extended even after Rosberg retired. The duo have admitted that they have little to no relationship, not the best thing for teammates. And Rosberg isn't the only one. Fernando Alonso and Hamilton were not exactly besties at McLaren. It was a relationship which had bitterness and animosity. Despite being teammates, there was name-calling and petty on-track maneuvers. Because here's the thing, Hamilton, along with his star power and championship mindset, might not care who is between him and victories. He likes to win, even if it means going past his own teammates. So is Leclerc ready for that? Either ways, there is a lot brewing at the Ferrari camp, and yet another incident that has opened up some friction lines in this camp and made the season all the more interesting. Time for last serve. German fans are loving it at the Euros. Their team is looking good. They're unbeaten at the tournament. And just before their kickoff against Switzerland, there was someone who got the Germans into a party zone. Take a look. peppy and pumped up start to the week here for us too. But that does it here on First Sports. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care.